Welcome back to the Beyond the Sidelines podcast, faithful. It's episode 32. So basically what we did today is we had a chat about our little experience before recording with a few spicy wings, which, you know, maybe I lost, maybe I didn't. Who knows? I guess you'll get to see. We also spoke about the NRL, the upcoming season. We gave that a little preview. In the Fast Five, we also talked about Mac Horton. Should he get his gold medal? What do you reckon? We also talked about Eric Dyer and him, you know, making his way into the crowd. T20 World Cup, Palace and West Ham, they're coming down under. They're coming to Queensland. We don't mind it at all. The NRL Captain's Challenge, and we also said, Tate McDermott, he's got to get that gold jersey this year, but I guess you'll have to wait to see everything that we talk about.
There's scenes here at Perry Park.
Chris Lynn has taken the wild thing and sent him.
Oh, Bateman! Well! Yeah!
No,
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't add up.
And as Finn likes to say, the full contingent is in studio. How are we doing, boys?
Yeah, good. I'm coming off a big win, and so is Gusman, actually. So, yeah.
What's the...
Well, basically, Campbell, I'll take the words out of your mouth because I know you're about to say them, but basically, I'm elite.
Athlete.
Athlete. I am a semi-professional competitive eater.
Are you now?
Yes, just without the money and without the fame.
You are what peak performance looks like.
Yeah. No, so anyway, what we're talking about is the Hot Wings Challenge at the UQ Student Bar, the Red Room.
Get there if you can.
Where you have to eat 10 hot wings in 3 minutes.
And they were pretty hot. I saw some tears in your eyes, mate.
Oh, mate, yeah. I accidentally touched my face. I touched one eye, and then the tears wouldn't stop going, flowing out of them. I ruptured it.
Yeah, I didn't think the heat was that bad, but I mean, it was the number of wings. Right? It was 10 wings, and they were hot. That's temperature hot.
The temperature was the hardest part. I was dropping them because they were hot, temperature-wise.
Hot.
Can I just say this?
You sure can.
We went in, and we all knew we were going to do this, but me and Campbell were
Campbell
and I were the only...
Buy me a Coke.
We were the only two people who decided to actually do it up front.
Yeah.
Finn was like, oh, I'll sit back and wait until someone else has done it before I do it. It might be a bit hot for me. We showed real spirit, and although you didn't come out with the...
I know, not with the W. I was taking it a little bit easy, I thought. Because my tactic...
Complacency, mate.
It was complacency. Because my tactic was at the start very much, look, I've got 10 wings, 3 minutes, broke it down into the time. I'll go, I'll leave for this amount of room for each wing.
Yeah, you left it too late, mate.
I left it too little too late. You know, I ended up with 5 in the last minute or so. And, you know, boys didn't really perform on the day, boys being me. And, you try these things and, you just don't pull through sometimes. And that's just... I was complacent.
You see, I had tunnel vision, so I was I was focused on eating these 10 wings. I'm pretty sure I ate the bone as well because I definitely cracked through one.
You were a vacuum cleaner for them.
Yeah, I definitely ate the bone. It was tough. There was a stage where I had about four in the mouth at once. I was trying to eat a mouthful of chicken and I was on the verge of throwing up because there were peppers in there like the Carolina Reaper,
ghost peppers.
The ghost peppers. It was insane.
It was hard to swallow the chicken, wasn't it?
I thought it was a swallowing bit, and 10 wings is a fair amount. I mean, you can get that through in a night. Like that's a pretty decent amount.
Yeah.
I was kind of full by about wing 7.
Yeah,
seriously.
I was full by wing 1, mate.
And let's not forget, we had to do this in 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. And then you had to wait 3 minutes of not wiping your mouth, not doing anything, not allowed any milk. You had to wait for the afterburn, as they said.
That was rough.
The bloke sitting next to us.
I think the afterburn is coming 6 hours later, but...
The bloke sitting next to us with the timer just going... just got that.
Thank you.
The bloke sitting next to us with the timer just going, 2 minutes in. And it's like, mate, at least, a bit of enthusiasm.
Yeah. 2 minutes in! Get eating! That's what I need.
You can do it.
Go on.
If I can say this, I thought Gus was getting a lot of positive, reinforcement.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting nothing.
No, see, no.
Because I was laughing and going, ha, 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 like throughout the whole time. Like,
see,
I think
that is something I've got to clarify. I am funny generally as well as on the podcast.
Okay, so
are you there?
The reason why I was getting all the positive comments was because no one believed in me, right?
No one believed in me.
I was the underdog
This is true, actually.
That is very true.
Before we did this, I said pepper was hot on my food.
You find water hot, mate.
He has found water hot before.
Oh,
that is
spicy
true.
water? It's like bringing a new meaning to spicy water.
This was a challenge for me. And then right after, I got a spicy water, of course, a beer, and I thought it was warm. when I got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm
Yeah,
going to return this beer.
I was like,
warm.
it's fine, mate.
But it was fine. It was just my mouth was scalded.
Yeah, no, but boys, congratulations to you both. I will be taking up the challenge again. You know, I need redemption. I'm on the wall of shame in a Polaroid.
You are.
That
on
is
the bar.
true. So at the Red Room, again at UQ, there is a wall of shame and a wall of fame. Now, on the wall of fame, you can find Gussie's photo, smiling, great teeth, whatever.
Yeah.
And then mine, right next to it. On the wall of shame, his head is down as he considers what I'm about to say. But Campbell, you are on the wall of shame, my friend. But I think next Thursday, you redeem yourself.
I think so too. So what we're saying, get down to the UQ Red Room. This is when we need to make a spirit committee video.
Thursday
We need
afternoon.
you. Get there. And I mean, this is a bit of a plug for the UQ Red Room. If you haven't already, been there, go there. Take on this challenge. Tell us how you do with it. I mean, we want to compare ourselves to the listeners.
It's a good challenge, man.
It is a good challenge.
It was good fun.
If
It really
you're
was.
scared of the spice, it's not that bad. It's more just go absolutely nuts.
Tackle it on, mate.
I was so close.
I think your time was something like 3 minutes, 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was spewing. Anyway, not physically. But anyway, let's actually get on topic. Let's do what we're supposed to do. We're already like 5 minutes in and we haven't touched anything. Let's do Fast Five, all right? Fast Five is where we have 5 topics, 5 minutes. What is our first topic, boys?
Mac Horton. How about this? Of course, Sun Yang just got banned for 8 years for doping.
Is that long enough?
Yeah, he's not
Already asking the tough
competing
questions.
again.
Look, yeah, he's done. 8 years. Yeah, he's not going to come back from this. And
Was he stripped of medals?
He hasn't been yet, mate.
No.
He hasn't been yet.
But I think there's belief that he should be stripped of the Olympic medals.
I think it's
I think he's been stripped from the World Championship medal.
Who cares about that?
He hasn't been yet. The Australian, I want to say Olympic Committee, could be wrong there. I think they are going to challenge that when it comes to Mac Horton. Of course, he got the silver in Rio. And they want Mac to have the gold.
Yeah.
Of course, rightly so. Does he deserve it? Now, we spoke about this off air. It's 2v1. I am in the minority here. But you two, why should Mac keep a silver?
See, look, I don't...
I mean, we've spoken about it. Sorry, you go.
I think it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but you just can't hand a gold medal to someone because someone else cheated.
That's cricket.
It's just the way it works. So, this one person's ruining it for everyone else.
Yeah.
I think he definitely deserves the gold medal, but you can't just hand him out. It just doesn't work like that.
No, and I mean, we've spoken about it. I can't remember if we've spoken about it on the podcast. We've definitely spoken about it off the podcast, but it's the same situation with, strip titles.
Exactly, like the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah,
but
we've spoken about this with Stevie G winning a title.
But, mate, what's the nature of swimming? What's the nature of athletics? What's the history when it comes to these type of decisions?
Competing.
No, in terms of...
Yeah.
Like, when these players, like even cycling and stuff, when people get stripped of these accolades, it goes to the next person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'm not a fan
you
of
might
that.
not like it, again, you might not like it for your codes and where you're coming from, but for swimming, should Mac Horton get his medal? Yes, he should, because that's how swimming does it.
Your question was should, and I think he should not. Right? So it's a matter of opinion on the basis of your question. He probably will,
Accusing
based
my
on the
questioning
way.
skills. No?
Yeah, you
So,
know, mate.
are you saying that they get the gold medal if they cheated on the day and were caught on the day, or can they get a gold medal that they didn't win from 10 years ago?
There was
if
a
that
bloke,
makes sense?
there was a, I don't know his name, unsurprisingly, but an Australian walker. Like, he does,
it's
does the
competitive.
marathon. It's
Competitive.
It is actually a good watch.
It is a good watch.
I'm being serious. They are good athletes. I know people can give them stick, but they walk a marathon very technique-based.
I feel like I get around UQ quite quickly. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
just
no,
saying.
all
Elite.
Elite
I mean, these
athletes.
walks are like 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer walks, and
They're
you just
longer,
have
mate.
to. You
No,
just,
They do
do the marathon.
marathons.
They
They
do
do
the
40Ks.
Jeez, that's a long way.
Yeah,
But you
42
only have
Ks.
to do one step out of place, and you're
No,
gone.
you get
Yeah,
free-
he'll tell you, you get 3 strikes.
Get 3 strikes.
Like, you know what I mean? It's pretty rough. You
Yeah,
get right to the end, and you can blow it.
I
They
think
look
it was
pretty funny.
he was either the marathon walker or like the track walker, because they do some of that as well around athletics track. And he got his gold medal a few years ago in Melbourne.
Yeah,
They did his ceremony down there because the bloke who beat him got stripped.
yeah. Well,
And that's the big thing too. These athletes, they're getting stripped of that moment. aren't
they are.
They're getting stripped of that moment to, see their flag being raised, hear their national anthem, and have the country, all eyes on them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just sport, isn't it? It's about winners and losers, and
But
is
they're
what it
cheats,
is.
mate.
I know they're cheats, and that's just part of it. Hey, there's always going to be cheaters. When there's something to win, there's always going to be someone cheating. Someone who was not cheating, someone that may have potentially got into a brawl was Eric Dyer.
Eric
Dyer.
Dyer?
Yeah, he's French, He's got that spelling. Anyway, Let talk us through this, Gusman.
Yeah, well, he's of course Tottenham Hotspur midfielder.
Yeah,
Eric
defensive
Dyer,
midfielder,
former
yeah.
Dyer.
England captain, wasn't he? At one point?
Maybe.
He did a bit, yeah.
Yeah, this was a bit of an altercation after their loss to Norwich in the FA Cup 5th round, I believe. But yeah, apparently there were comments made about his younger brother, which sort of triggered him. And like, we could probably all understand. I don't know. You don't have a younger brother, Campbell.
No.
But I mean, when comments come up about
Neither does he.
Yeah, but you have a brother. When comments come up about family,
Shout out to Ryan. How are you, mate?
when comments come out about family, it often
I do
you
have
can
family.
sort
but
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get you. Well, it reminds me of Zidane.
yeah,
You know, the old headbutt.
Yeah.
Who could
Classic.
forget?
But you can't blame him for what he did. But
Yeah, but he's
really,
professional.
Yes,
He's a
you can.
professional.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can. You, as a
Okay,
professional
so
athlete,
he went into the crowd. Let's just say this. We haven't mentioned this yet. He heard a comment that he potentially didn't like
went
and
halfway up
decided to take on a fan pretty
halfway up
much.
the first tier. It's
Yeah.
not like he jumped the fence. He went up, row after row
With
after row.
vengeance.
That's the thing. Now, who in the hell is going to a game as a spectator and throwing chat? Now, personally, I don't do that, but who, it's common. Obviously,
common.
that's part of the atmosphere of sport. Who's throwing chat and then expecting, the athlete might come and get me?
Yeah.
I don't think this guy was throwing that chat going, "Hey, Eric, I'm ready for you, mate."
It's almost like there's a fourth wall there.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's just that it never gets broken.
And that's part of the issue with, I guess, being a professional athlete nowadays, isn't it? The fact that you've got to just take it or you're expected to take it. And that's wrong, especially because it goes beyond game day. It goes to, social media.
Yeah.
These guys can get dominated
Yeah.
on social media.
The thing is that it really shouldn't happen.
No.
It really, like, comments like that.
should've-
Obviously, the spectator's probably going to get banned for.
He will.
From
yeah,
it
maybe.
But
What about Dyer?
happens.
What about Dyer? Because he did throw punches.
Oh, he'll definitely
get suspended.
receive a suspension.
Yeah, but
I
it's
think.
assault.
Yeah.
To me, it's assault. He can be a professional athlete. To be honest, if you punch someone on the field, yeah, that's a fine line. You
Tribunal.
can almost get away with it because there's a tribunal to sort it, as you said. But he's punched a civilian.
Yeah.
He's punched a spectator.
Yeah.
That's assault.
Yeah.
It more distracted.
Or
away
is it a
from-
pepper?
Thank
you very much.
Funny. It distracted away from Tottenham's loss, which was actually quite poor against Norwich.
Into the quarterfinals for the first time in 28 years, I think, off the top of my
about
head.
the most valuable trophy in England. That's obviously a joke. Thanks for laughing.
I do
guys.
like the FA Cup.
I don't mind it. Yeah, it's the magic of the cup.
It's probably it's the second biggest competition in England, so it's no joke.
Yeah,
but
no way.
Then you got
but
Champions League and
League Cup,
internationals.
mate.
I just
Carabao.
want to hear what the spectator said. I want to hear his banter. That's all I want to hear. Anyway, moving on. T20 World Cup. We've had a bit of controversy regarding wet weather. It's been a bit of a theme with Sydney this year. I reckon we just bin off Sydney, get rid of it as a city as a whole.
Oh, please don't say that.
Just bin the city.
Bin the city, get rid of it. What's it doing?
Coming from
It's a
someone from
wannabe.
Melbourne.
It's a wannabe Melbourne.
Mate, but
Stop it.
anyway, back to the discussion. Siege, mate, what has happened? Because this isn't the first time, as you said. We saw this in the Big Bash final. That did go ahead, and rightfully the Sixers won that.
Yep.
But this time around, again, no reserve day. The ICC not allowing that to be considered. Boys, I just don't understand this.
I don't understand it either.
We saw this even at the Rugby World Cup.
Yep.
I will mention that, Typhoon Hagibis came in and, reserve days, they need to be a thing. And they were at the World Cup.
Well, anytime you run an event, whether it be in, corporate kind of events where there's outside, you have a wet weather contingency plan.
Even if you're playing...
So why does the ICC not have a contingent plan or contingency plan for when it is raining? Because you're playing outdoors.
If you're
For
playing in
God's
the
sakes.
under-12s schools carnival, I'm sure there's some form of plan where they go, we'll
Postpone.
come back in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
something like that. There would be some way around it. But for some reason, I think it's a money thing. And
Yeah.
it's booking out these stadiums.
And I think it's also scheduling for the players as well.
It is. The ICC and all these national bodies, again, it's not just cricket. It's not exclusive to cricket. They, for some reason, go, we're good. If you get rained out,
Tough luck.
tough.
So what ended up happening was the England versus India game got rained out, basically. India have gone through because they topped the pool. We could have potentially seen this in the South Africa versus Australia situation today in their pool, which is just ridiculous. So if this game we're recording this on a Thursday, if the game got rained out tonight, / yesterday, if you're listening to this on Friday. Whenever you're listening, it's too confusing.
Just go on.
If the game got rained out, South Africa would have gone through. Australia would have, I guess, faltered their World Cup defence on purely weather.
It's not fair.
Not
You
fair
know,
at all.
these girls, it's a World Cup. It's it's the pinnacle of their sport.
Every 2 years.
It is. It's what they strive for and it's what they want to win. And now you're getting told you don't get your chance to win it, even though you've qualified and you've done everything you have to up until now, because your opponent's the rain dance.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. On speaking of that, I've really liked Thailand. I mentioned this a few episodes back.
Good fun, eh?
They've been really fun. They were dancing on the sideline. They were doing some really awesome stuff around the rope. Really good seeing. You know, they're enjoying it. They're having fun. That's what it's about.
They didn't win a game. But
No, they
again,
didn't.
it's good spirits, and that is what a World Cup is.
Well,
It
they're
really
new to
is.
the World Cup as well, so it's great to see.
Apparently they learnt the rules 3 weeks ago in New Zealand. So
Jeez.
Is that legit?
yeah,
No
that's what I
way.
heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Gee
Which is
whiz.
pretty awesome. I mean, can we learn a sport and play in 3 weeks? I hope so.
Well, competitive eating, I learned it in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I was pretty good at
Lawn
that.
bowls. let's do it, boys.
Yeah.
I think I might be too good at that, though.
Yeah,
That's my concern.
you know, darts. Yeah, 108. Yeah. Anyway,
Darts is hard.
darts is hard. Palace and West Ham coming down under. They're coming to Queensland.
They're
boys.
they're going to play at Suncorp, aren't they? So
They are.
it's about
yes,
a 10-minute
they are.
walk from my house to see some Premier League
Yeah,
sides.
spicy waters at yours then, mate.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
can you get a ticket? Now, that's going to be the big question over the next few months leading up to.
Only
I want to
we
say.
knew someone who worked for the Raw.
Yeah, I don't work there, do I?
Yeah.
I do know someone who does work there.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
No, yeah, I could just ask Robbie. No.
Shout out to Robbie for winning Manager of the Month.
Back-to-back months.
Back-to-back
That's,
months. Good
that's
on
awesome.
him.
Good on him.
Undefeated.
The gaff, he's a big reason, I think, to why these two teams decided to come down under.
Mm.
And if Robbie decides to stay in this Brisbane Raw role, don't be surprised if Liverpool, I think, decide to knock back on Australia's shores again. And
Well, yeah, what was
come
the
back down under.
when
Could
was the
do.
last time they came down? It was about 6 years ago.
20.
I would say
13, I wanna say.
2016. I want to
I
say.
think it was.
No, it was
2015?
way earlier.
I think it was.
No,
earlier
they
than
came
that. Was it the
2013.
G? Hey.
I went to that.
Yeah.
That was in 2013.
Yeah,
The G.
6,
and
7
then
years
they
ago.
came to
Came back.
then they came to
Is
Brisbane
that when
and
Arsenal came as well? They played in Sydney in
No,
like 2017.
Chelsea played in 2015 against Sydney.
Okay.
And then 2013 was
2013 was Liverpool. Then
Liverpool.
Liverpool came back in 2015
Actually,
or
I
2016.
I do remember that.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
They played at Suncorp and they also played Adelaide at Cooper's down there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Cooper's Stadium? That's their stadium, right?
What, Adelaide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. And it was cool because I remember, what is it, King George Square?
Yeah.
That's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Mm.
'Cause I don't know what it's
You're
called.
pointing towards Gold Coast, but yeah. There we go.
That way. I'm in the right direction now.
There we go.
Disorientated.
Mm.
They did their away kit unveiling.
Oh, really?
Liverpool.
Well, Liverpool was cool.
Which is quite cool, actually.
That is awesome.
From a fan's point of view, because it was like, this is our kit for the season.
Well, they're the king
And-
of the terrible kits over the past 10 years,
Oh,
I'd
they
say.
are.
When they were with
It was-
Warrior.
it was quite
shocking.
It was quite cool. It was a white kit with a hint of red. But it was cool. They had like James Milner. He walked on the stage. And
I love him.
I think
Workhorse.
Mingale was there. Yeah. But anyway,
Mingale.
I think so.
Mignolet.
Yeah, either or. It's terrible. Anyway,
It's shocking.
we're getting off topic here, gents. But these 3 games. So first off, Palace Raw up at the new stadium in Townsville. Then Raw West Ham at the GC, Seabus. And then the 2 Premier League, or hopefully Premier League
yeah.
teams, West Ham could go down. They meet at Suncorp Stadium on, again, I think it's July 18th or July 21.
Yeah.
July 18th is the one on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, don't sue me, whatever.
Surely we got to go to the Gold Coast, boys. Go to Seabus.
Let's go to the one at Suncorp, mate.
Yeah, well, let's go to
Again,
both.
I'll be very keen to go to both.
Yeah, I'll go to both.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I think it's good to see these teams coming down under, but it's a sign of hopefully things to come.
It certainly
My
is.
issue with this is a few years ago, as we touched on, these teams came down under, and then nothing happened.
Sorry, Gus, don't touch your eyes, mate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's stop doing that. Sorry,
Still
continue.
Still got spicy stuff on my.
Yeah,
finger.
exactly.
I'm
yeah.
feeling it a bit, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's coming
It's
up.
in my gut.
Yeah,
I
like
feel ill.
I'm feeling it in the trachea.
even just thinking about it, like just thinking about it, going like 10 wings were there, and then they weren't 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
Just because I'm so good at it.
It's good work, boys, to be fair.
It's good hustle.
Good stuff. I like it. Good.
Anyway,
You know, the boys put in a good shift. You know, they really got the job done.
tell that joke again.
Yeah, I know, mate. Well, actually, it's later in the episode because we're recording this beforehand.
Okay.
Oh, way to
Spoiler.
confuse
So
everyone.
you really done me there.
Yeah, no. No, back to this. A few years ago, as we touched on, these teams came down under. Chelsea, United, Liverpool, and then nothing really happened. A few years ago, we had the A-League All-Stars, and it was a sign of things to come, at least I thought. Maybe they were going to venture down the path similar to that of the MLS, where they have these teams coming down consistently. Juventus, they came down,
They
played
did.
the All-Stars,
Yeah.
and then everything went quiet. And then suddenly, A-League crowds started dropping. TV viewership started dropping. Participation numbers, I think, started dropping.
Yeah.
Like, we need these big names coming down more
Mate,
often.
I remember the A-League All-Stars nearly beat Juventus.
Yeah, but that's a
Yeah.
gimmick, man.
Well, maybe
was
this
great,
is
mate.
this is obviously a way they're going to try and revamp football in Queensland.
With
This is-
West Ham
Yeah.
and Crystal Palace.
Oh no, but
trials at West Ham?
There's
Trials
still,
at West Ham.
that's why I'll be showing up.
Netherlands football trip.
Oh, he's showing up in a J mask.
Exactly.
Should have been.
Get
at
your
that.
hair cut like that, mate.
Yeah,
It'd be
well.
great. Anyway, we've got to move on. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Oh no, it is
Last
special.
sentiment.
It is special. Again, my first Liverpool game was 2013 at the G, and seeing Gerrard score, like it's that opportunity for these, West Ham and Palace fans to go see their favourite players. Hopefully, come down under and hopefully score a goal or two.
Come on, you Irons. Let's go. NRL Captain's Challenge. We'll touch on this briefly. Tell us how it is. Also, before we get into that, we'd like to give a special... We'd like to share our thoughts and I guess prayers. Not that any of us are religious, but
I am,
with...
but anyway.
Yeah, you are. With Carl Webb and his family, the 187 gamer, ex-Bronco. He's been diagnosed with early onset motor neuron disease. So we'd like to just... our thoughts are with him and his family.
Man, he was
Hope he's okay.
good player, very good player. I'll never forget that moment when he knocked over the referee.
No, that wasn't him. That
wasn't?
was Tony Carroll.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
He did have the cue shaved
No,
into the side of his head at one point.
I know what you mean. The one he kneed the
Against the
referee in the
Rabbits.
head.
No, he was like going to score a try or something, and he knocked the referee over.
He might have. He might have.
I'm pretty sure
I
it was.
remember the Tony Carroll one where he kneed the referee in the head and knocked him out.
Yeah, the referee got knocked out. That was Carroll.
Yeah.
I think this was different.
Okay,
Different
I
one.
don't remember that.
And again, if my memory serves me right, it was against the Rabbits at Sunners. But anyway,
Anyway, I remember he had the cue shaved in the side of his head
Yeah.
when he was playing for Queensland, which is just the most Queensland thing I've ever heard
He's
of.
a Queensland legend.
He really is, and he's just 38, so really all of our thoughts are with him. But the NRL Captain's Challenge.
Yeah.
What do we reckon? It's been
I don't
approved.
know. Look, I don't know. I just think they're trying to slow down the game even more. I don't like it, if I'm going to be honest. Like, it's not a bad idea, but it just... Like I'm going to sound really old here and say I miss the good old days.
You don't like
of the
change.
I don't really
Gusman,
like changing the
Gusman,
game. Yeah.
explain what the challenge is.
So
to me.
it's a 15-second period where a captain of a club can go, hold up, I want to change or I want to have a look at this decision and check if it's right. It's got to happen at a stoppage.
DRS.
Yeah, it's pretty much a DRS. If you go off DRS in cricket, it's pretty much the same thing. And yeah, I feel like it's a little bit demeaning to the referees as well. Referees don't get everything 100% right.
No,
you got to realize
they've lost me many a multi.
and
no?
you got to realize that it doesn't. Or you can't get it perfect. I think this is going to turn out like the VAR in the Premier League. I think it's going to turn out. Like
VAR is a bit of a
DRS.
tough one because
offsides.
Yeah, offsides are a very kind of how you go and kind of rule. They're very
But
not
I mean,
subjective.
the video ref doesn't get it right anyway.
Yeah, but
I think in cricket it's very good.
it is.
Yeah, but in cricket it is. But in rugby league it's a lot tougher.
Gusman, but what is Toddy Greenberg in the end? Greenberg, isn't it?
Berg, yeah.
Yeah. What is he supposed to do alongside the NRL? When last year there were so many contentious decisions. 6 again. Vunivalu in the prelim against the Raiders put his hand out, but was it out? That changes the game.
Yeah.
All these decisions that the NRL got, blitzed for on social media. Are they supposed to sit back and go, "Hey, I can't wait for another year of that," or are they going to go, "We have the technology. We want to further this obsession of making sure that everything is exactly right, instead of the traditional approach of let the boys be boys and let's see how they play."
Yeah, I think
they need to get everything right, because if they don't, they are going to get grilled on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but I think you got a little bit of a split here. I reckon you got 50% of people who want it to rugby league to be back before where there was one referee on the field. His decision sticks. If he gets it wrong, well then bad luck. It happens to everyone. Everyone's had a bad call.
The Cowboys have had a few. Remember a few years ago, they got knocked out, I think, 3 years in a row in the finals because of bad decisions.
Yeah, I know, but every team has it. Every team has had a bad call.
That's why
some teams are more unlucky than others, but they get better calls in the future.
That's why the Warriors are so bad. No, it's not. No, it's definitely not.
No,
it's not.
I don't think so.
I'm just saying, I don't think they should introduce a new rule every
mind it.
year. And, I don't hate
pretty
this idea, but when you start making the game confusing, I've mentioned this before in this podcast, I swear, making this game confusing and slower
How's it
and
confusing?
adding too many new
the
rules.
least confusing sport.
You
I
run
would
it up
say.
5 times. If you don't score a try, you kick it. and you can't.
I'm just
knock the
saying,
ball on. That's like
adding
it.
new rules, you're always going to get backlash from
More
it.
than
It's
3
gonna
rules is too many, mate.
It's gonna turn into the bloody VAR in
Again,
in
I
England.
guess time will tell. Do you get to retain your challenge?
You do if you get it right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
so
cool.
we saw
awesome.
it. We saw it last week in the Community Shield. Yeah, that's right. Not Community Shield. That's football.
That's
Charity
football,
Shield,
yeah.
isn't it? Between the Rabbits and the St George
Yeah.
Dragons.
Mhm.
Yeah, Latrell, he got exploited. Obviously, his first game in the Rabbitohs jumper at fullback, and I think the first ever challenge was he went up for a high ball, knocked it on, but did he? Referee said no. Dragons said yes. Dragons ball. They score a try.
There you go.
You know what
there
I mean?
you
So
go.
again, it's useful. I think it's important.
Yeah.
But Gusman, you're the league mate. You're the league guy. So
Yeah, I just don't know.
guess
We'll see.
you
We'll see how it goes in the
speak
season.
for your people. Speak
Yeah,
for your people.
We'll see how it goes in the season, and yeah, look, I'm not too positive right now, but maybe they change my mind.
Well,
with how it
let's
works
see.
out.
We're about to actually preview the NRL season, so I guess we'll take a little break quickly and get straight into it. Yeah, so that was our Fast Five. We're back into, I guess we don't have an interview this week, boys, because it's NRL season. I can't wait, personally. You know me, I'm a big NRL fan, so
Mate, you
I
are
can't wait, personally.
You're the BTS rugby league expert,
Mate,
basically.
not only BT, I'm the world. I'm Fox Sports, mate. I live and breathe. I bleed
Oh,
NRL.
can we?
No, but
Oh, come on.
Let's-
Gussie's putting on his Australian accent to sound more like a leaguey.
we go back 30 seconds, mate. You were using your Triple M news voice.
I wasn't on purpose.
Want to see more of that?
I wasn't on purpose.
Want to hear more of that? It's good from you.
Thanks, mate.
Keep it up.
Thanks. I
But
don't know
yeah.
how to respond to that.
You're just an awkward guy, mate. Anyway,
Yeah,
It's
I am a
weird-
little bit,
it's
actually.
weird when Finn compliments you. A little bit.
I know, I think he's
you're
hitting
a
on
little
me,
bit
mate.
taken aback.
I know. I'm not. I don't like compliments. It's
No.
like my birthday. I don't like people singing "Happy Birthday." It's not. I'm not a fan of it.
but you like Gusman dressing up as a cheerleader.
I loved that personally.
Yeah, that's 'cause
If you want to see that video, hit me up.
It's because I absolutely rocked it. That's
And you
why.
fell for it because you're gullible, and you nearly fell for a wing challenge today, as we previously mentioned.
Yeah, that is true. Anyway, boys, league is back next week. 1 week till the Warriors kickstart their season.
One
and
too many.
Yeah, but the Warriors, mate, they're going to kickstart their season and start their journey towards the wooden spoon.
Similar as the NRL Nines went for them, I think.
Basically, mate. The issue with that Dines tournament was it was their first team,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they still couldn't make it out of the pool stage.
Look, I wouldn't take too much from the Nines competition. It was a little bit of a gimmick. I mean, there were plenty of
A little bit of a gimmick. It was in Perth, Gusman.
Yeah, there were
Rugby league heartland.
There were a
Sporting
few-
capital.
There were a few sides that played their first teams, and we've gotten a little bit of information from recent trial games and stuff like that. So we sort of know what teams are looking decent for this upcoming season and what teams aren't really in the best of shape. And I'd like to, I mean, we are a Brisbane podcast, so we'll spend a little bit of time talking about the Broncos. But
Up the Bronx.
yeah, the Broncos, their trial form wasn't great. I mean, they lost to Winner Manly.
Oh, they are a good team, though.
And
they
the
are
Bir-
second tier, but
Yeah.
they're a good team.
They lost to
Gusman.
Winner Manly, but they also lost to the Titans. So can we?
Who
can
lost
we-
to the Burleigh Bears?
Who lost to the Bill? So it's a little bit of a mess in Brisbane right now. But
Well,
I mean,
I think Queensland should have promo Rello, shouldn't it?
yeah.
All I'm saying is I think they were hitting a bit of Dragon League the night before. That's all I can say. Hitting a bit of Dragon. They were getting some features, so I mean, fair play to
How
them.
many times have you used that joke?
Mate, I'll continue to
It's-
use it for the rest of my existence. It's a
until-
great joke.
Until it's not funny. And
Yeah.
Campbell, I say, keep going.
It'll never
No.
not be funny, mate.
Yeah, no, I expect the Broncos to bounce back after what was a pretty poor season in 2019.
But how
Of course,
high can they fly? That's the question, Gusman.
Yeah, no, I think they've got a top 8 spot almost guaranteed. You usually think the Broncos will be a top 8 side every year. The signing of Brodie Croft's a big one for them. I think
Huge.
he's the perfect player to go to Brisbane.
Yeah.
He brings a bit more stability.
Yeah,
I think.
he's back home as well. He's a churchy boy, so
Yeah.
I guess it's good to see him back in Brisbane, even though I'm not a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
It's good to see him back here. They've got some great youngsters coming through as well, and we'll see how that spine sort of rebuilds because there was a lot of controversy, of course, with that Dragon Link incident or the Pokies incident, whether that Brisbane Broncos spine can really step up and lead this side.
Well, I was
because-
about to say that it's been quite a almost tumultuous off-season for them. You know, starting...
Tumultuous.
Yeah, I almost thought I'd use a big word there. But, you know, it started off with Dragon Link for me. I think they've had a really bad off-season, personally.
Well, they didn't show up in
as
that,
a club.
in that final
Didn't
against
show
Parramatta.
up. Didn't show up in the Parramatta game. You know, they were out the night before. They weren't drinking, allegedly.
Yeah.
But they were out until 1 a.m., which is not on... You should be in your bed, tucked in,
Well, yeah.
nice the night before. And then also we had the David Fafita incident later in the off-season, and then also the Offengawi.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how Fafita got off with that.
Yeah,
and then Joe
Bronx.
Offengawi got the punishment that he got because I would have swapped him around. Honestly, like these are all just we don't exactly know what happened, so we can't exactly judge on it, but we can really judge on what we've seen in the media and stuff like that. But Joe Offengawi, he apparently had a few to drink. Had a few drinks and then went to his car and sat in the front seat and put the car on for the air conditioning, right?
Well, who knows? Because he may have been going to start driving.
He may have.
And then it's still illegal.
It's still illegal
by the law. You know, he started his car. He was drunk, sitting in the front seat, basically. You can't really... I'd rather them punish him for it than him get off scot-free and then he drives next time and then kill someone.
It's just confusing because then... I mean, David Fafita's incident, he straight up punched someone in the head.
Yeah, I mean, you can say, like, they shouldn't be treated differently, which I don't think they should.
Yeah.
But they are a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think in the case of Offengawi, he wasn't treated differently. I think he was treated like a normal guy because he is.
Yeah.
I think Fafita, on the other hand, was... Well, I mean, if it was Fafita, he probably wouldn't have been... I don't know. Would he have been locked up longer? Wouldn't have been covered as much.
Yeah, David Fafita's a special player, so I don't think they would have wanted him to be out of the game.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
that shouldn't come into it.
I know it shouldn't, but it does. That's
one of my issues with rugby league, that for some reason your stature in the games, it tends to weigh heavily on your punishments off field.
I don't think that's only rugby league. I think that's a lot of sports, though. I mean...
I think it's quite conducive to NRL. I think it's quite a common thing, though. Like, when was the last case of that happening in the AFL or in rugby union, really?
Well, I mean, you look at Dustin Martin. His
dad is deported, is not allowed in the country.
But like,
I mean, he's the best player in the game, and his dad isn't allowed in the country.
You get characters in every sport. I don't think it's fair that you heap it onto rugby league as the main problem.
No, but it has the most, problems with it. It's in the headlines most.
Yeah, but that often happens when you... a lot of these guys are on big money contracts.
Same with other sports, mate.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys are taken from rural areas.
No, but it's the same as all sports, mate.
That shouldn't come into it.
That's not a rugby league specific thing.
At the end of the day, you can talk about rugby league's image and go, maybe it's not just rugby league. But it almost is, at least to this extent. The off-season in rugby league is arguably more entertaining than during the actual season.
Nah, that's
in my opinion, it is.
You're gonna get me. You're gonna get me angry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Some Facebook page, some
conversation.
rugby league Facebook page posted about it during the off season, and they said, today's a good day. I've just completed my off season 17, where they had made a team full of players who had been involved in off-field incidents during the previous few weeks. It's not uncommon in rugby league for these incidents to happen. But anyway, look, this is narrowing on the negative.
Yeah,
and that's not what this is about. We're previewing, I guess, the season. And the Bronx, let's go back to that for a second.
Let's do it.
Man, I reckon they scrape into the 8.
Yeah, so I have to agree with you. I don't see him making the top 4. I see him just getting into the 8 as well. Yeah.
The rumour is that apparently Jack Bird, remember him?
Yeah.
He's going to start at fullback.
Yeah, that's scary.
Is Darius getting a play, or is he getting the centres?
I think he's going to get shunted to the centres, yeah.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Oh, I don't think that's
Put him on the wing.
That's not a bad call.
On the wing?
Yeah, he played
got
Origin.
The legs for it.
He played Origin on the wing, mate.
Apparently he won the he's older now, but apparently he won the fitness test at the club. I think I saw that
Darius.
a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he doesn't run the ball. He doesn't get tackled. So I mean,
yeah, but like
he's always in perfect shape because he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but in the off season they should all be as fit as they.
Yeah, I know. I think the Broncos should stick him on the wing, and if he doesn't want to do that, then mate, you can play reserve grade because you're not showing it enough. Like you're not showing enough talent.
I think one of the biggest issues facing the Broncos though is one man, Anthony Milford.
Yeah.
Now for me, this guy
the
is
MILF.
Yeah, the MILF. He's a player who shows plenty of promise year to year, but also tends to fade, doesn't he? And tends to go missing during games, and is ultimately a defensive liability. Gusman.
Yeah.
Now, how much? Can you justify his position in the team when he can't really defend as well as other 5/8ths in the game. You look at, I know he's moved overseas, but Jimmy Maloney,
Yeah.
he was one of the best tacklers in the game.
No. He was the worst.
he?
He was the worst.
He
tackler.
was, actually.
He had the worst record of missed tackles in the competition for about 5 years.
I was thinking of Johnny Wilkinson in rugby.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh,
No,
mate. Dig it well off there.
No, a half that's very good at tackling. Cooper Cronk's a great example of a great defensive half. Anthony Milford, the defense is not great. And it's going to be even more tested because now Brodie Croft's coming, and Brodie Croft's got a really bad defensive record as well.
But even with the ball in hand, is Milford justifying his wage?
No, he's not. I mean, last year, you see for yourself, he barely touched the ball, and when he did, he'd make an error, and it was sort of he was a good summary of the Broncos season, I think. Anthony Milford, he's on $1 million, a lot of expectation. That Broncos side, high profile. That Broncos side had plenty of talent in it. It should have been a top 4 side, and they just didn't show up.
Yeah, but they don't have the halves pairing.
Yeah, but now maybe they do.
Yeah, but I still think they're lacking a 6 because Milford, when he came over from the Raiders, he was a youngster and he was a fullback.
Yeah,
they brought him into Brisbane and they went, "You're going to be the 5/8th for this club in the long term." And he's spent a few years now trying to earn that position, earn that right to wear that famous number 6 jersey, and he just hasn't. That's my issue with the Broncos in the sense that maybe as a club they've got to make a stand and go, "Milf, you're not justifying it, mate."
You reckon they ship him off?
Well,
I think so. And
You reckon he's a bit of a square peg?
I think so. And a lot of teams would have a go at him, CJ.
Oh, he would pick up a contract, no problem.
You know what I'd do if I was in the Broncos' position right now? I'd be getting rid of Anthony Milford, and I would have signed. It's a little bit late now, but I would have signed Aiden Caesar, or I would have signed a Blake Austin, someone like that. Someone that you know is going to show up and has got the defensive side of the game locked down and can offer something in attack. I know Milford's outstanding in attack. You're not going to find many halves who are better than him in attacking wise, but defensively, you need someone who's going to show up pretty much every week, and they just don't have that right now. The Broncos.
See, you can take the boy out of Canberra, but you can't take the Canberra out of the boy.
Well, no,
he just mentioned 2 players who played most of their careers at the Raiders.
Yeah, I mentioned them because they're very good defensively.
They are. I think Austin in particular.
Yeah.
No, when he was on song, he was very, very good. But he's over in the Super League at the moment. Who's he with? Wigan, I think.
I think Caesar's with Huddersfield.
Best tweeting account.
He's with Salford.
Salford City, class 92.
Yeah, I think it's the Salford Red Devils, Austin, and then Caesar's with Huddersfield. But I think one of them would have fit into that side very well.
I think so. I think you need that stable half in a way, but you need a half who's also going to be a game changer.
Yeah,
who's going to break the game open. Milford is that, but he's not a safe bet. He's not safe enough for me.
Can you cover him by having other defensive players in the team, do you think?
I think you can cover his spot? You can't have one player defending for 2 people. That never works.
You can reinforce with other players who are better in defence.
They've tried to do that for too long, mate. And it's proven to not work. That's my opinion, at least. Milford, if you're listening, sorry, mate. Don't mean to hurt your feelings. You're a good guy.
Well, I mean, you saw it last year how much they swapped around position-wise. I mean, Milford was playing fullback. He was playing 5'8". He was playing...
That's the thing. They need a pick and stick now.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to go, Milford, you're the 6 for the 26 games. Mm-hmm. And he's going, well, he'll play in that position, and hopefully he starts justifying his position. Again, that's the word I keep using. He's got to start justifying his role in the team. Anyway, because he's not for $1 million.
We'll be to round 1. Should we?
We'll be able to see the Broncos in action against the Cowboys. Of course, that's always a great game.
What a great first round.
Yeah, it's usually one of the best.
Is that down here or is it up at the new stadium?
It's up at the new stadium. So
cool. It looks good too.
It's going to be absolute scenes there. Yeah, that should be a cracker. They're usually great. Of course, we look back to the 2015 Grand Finals. Best Grand Final I've ever seen in my life.
Best game in rugby league, I'd say.
But yeah, I mean, looking at those round 1 fixtures, a lot of even sides in this first round.
Of course, they are all even on the ladder.
They are.
Yeah, no, I mean the quality. I mean
that was funny, but anyway,
I'd like to see.
Thanks, Siege. You keep me true, mate.
No problem, mate.
Yeah, I'd like to see how the Titans go under Justin Holbrook as well, because, of course, he's the Super League coach for Saints.
They won it last year.
They won it last year, of course, yeah.
What a downgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the NRL in rugby league is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
But is that really a sacrifice worth making?
Or maybe
I'm going to say no. That's my opinion. But I mean, it's a new challenge. It's a fresh challenge, and he's probably got some deal where he can't be sacked the first 2 years.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well,
But
is anyone really expecting the
I
Titans?
don't think they will sack him in the space of 2 years because they wouldn't have given him much of an opportunity there. But
Well, that's what I mean. He's got to be able to apply his trade and develop that team.
Yeah.
And I don't think 2 years is enough to ultimately save that organisation.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, mate, it's same with the Gold Coast Suns in the AFL. If they don't start ticking boxes, you're in the trash can.
well,
son.
I think
You're
you're going to
Tasmania's team, my mate.
I think you're going to agree.
Tasmania Titans. That actually sounds pretty good. Not going to lie.
Not that bad. I
TT.
don't mind it.
Yeah. I think you're going to agree with me here. I don't think the Titans will come last.
You don't think they
Ooh.
Yeah,
will?
well, I mean,
that is a
you
hot
mentioned
take.
before you thought the Warriors were going to come last. I don't
Oh.
know if you actually
That's him
mean
being
that.
a pessimistic.
I was
But
kid.
I actually don't think the Titans will come last. I think they'll finish bottom 3.
Well, let's move on to that. I mean, who's your pick for the spoon?
We haven't even looked through round one.
Well,
okay.
because we started to make a good transition there.
I think the Dragons are very close to that wooden spoon position right now. Their trial form was horrendous. They had a
they did all right at the Nines, mate.
They had a rubbish. They had a
Got
rubbish.
very lucky. But yeah.
They had a rubbish 2019 season. I think they're on the down. I think it's between the Dragons, Penrith, and the Titans for that bottom 3 sort of.
Penrith?
That's a shout.
I disagree. I think they're top 8.
Yeah,
No.
I disagree too.
I saw an interesting stat the other day. It was about NRL experience in your side and how that helps you win premierships. You see the really top sides like the Roosters and the Storm and the Rabbitohs. They have
A lot of money.
They have at least over 2,000 NRL games between them in the squad. And you look at Penrith, and they have the worst amount of NRL experience in their side. They're right down the bottom.
I don't think it's a carbon cut rule, though. I don't think it's a.
No,
this is exactly
it's not
what
a
it is.
rule, but it helps to have that experience in your side.
How much has their side changed from last year, do you think?
The Penrith side?
Not
Well,
much.
they've lost James Maloney, who is a massive player.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably one of the best number 6s in the NRL over the last 5 or 6 years.
But think about what Penrith do have, mate. They have the father-son combo. How significant is that? I think that's a
nothing.
joke. That is a joke too.
That is the biggest joke. Everyone was going, "Oh, Cleary's going to come over and he's
So-
going to turn this club around." And
Yeah, but it's not that. It's Ivan Cleary deciding, I want to coach my son.
yeah,
So he goes to Penrith to coach his son, Nathan. And ultimately, he was there just to do that.
yeah,
He kind of proved himself for, I think, a season. I know he's coached before, but he kind of came out of, not retirement, but he came out of the wilderness, Gusman. And he came back and he just went, these are my demands. Coaching
Yeah.
my son. I want to see him every day.
yeah. It's
And,
it's
and
a
like,
little bit of a
it
gimmick.
hasn't worked.
I get sick of my dad coaching me.
Yeah, I would as well.
It's like having your dad as your boss. I'm just like, rack off, mate.
Oh, Bobby, if you're listening, mate, I'd
Bobby,
love it. So.
Shawnee. You do work for your dad, so
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Yeah. But yeah. What are your boys' thoughts for the wooden spoon for 2020
Titans.
Titans? Yeah, safe bet with the Titans.
Yeah,
probably.
I'm not putting any money on it. I'm not going to be making anything out of that one,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Well, I was going to go the same way, to be honest.
the Titans.
I think Titans,
Yeah.
maybe the Bulldogs. I think
No,
there's-
I think the Bulldogs are on the way up.
Yeah, but I think they're still in a development phase.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
I do think the Titans are a clear wooden spoon favourite.
Mm.
I think they're a clear favourite for that. I think the Doggies, maybe a couple of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has to be said, the Warriors,
Yeah.
look, for too long, they just seem to only sign players who come out of New Zealand.
It's crazy.
And it doesn't make sense to me.
It's like in football with the Atletico Bilbao, only being able to sign Basque players. It's literally what it seems like.
Really? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's silly to me because they could make some of those big signings that you mentioned before, mate.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to.
Yeah.
There are so many players who, like Jimmy Maloney, all these guys who go overseas because their time in the NRL is done. What they should be going is, hey, Jimmy, million, come play for us again.
Go live in Auckland.
Oh, it's a good place, mate. One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Anyway,
shout out to Richard Murray there.
Yeah, we'll go to the other end of the spectrum. We'll go to the premiers. Who do you think will win the competition in 2020?
As long as it's not the Roosters, mate, I'm happy.
Storm.
Don't say that.
Storm. Are we saying this is the
It makes my
minor
skin
premiers
crawl.
or premiers?
We'll go premiers. Forget about minor premiers. We'll go premiers. That's the important
Minor
thing.
premiers doesn't matter, CJ.
No,
It doesn't.
It doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. Which,
No.
I mean, of course it matters, but it's not.
It's not the chocolate.
No, it's not.
Who's getting the chocolate? So for me,
Yeah.
gents, it is the Rabbits, I think.
They would be my second pick too. Anyone but the Chooks.
But they're not your first pick.
No.
So
Storm, because I'm a Melbourne boy, mate.
you open your mouth. Why?
Because, it's a podcast, it's conversation,
well-
that's kind of the, whole goal of this thing.
This is Finn's 20 seconds to shine, mate.
Why
Okay,
do you think the Rabbitohs?
No. Sorry, CJ.
It's okay.
Anyway,
Why do you think the Rabbitohs?
I think they've got the best backline to boast in the league. I think Latrell Mitchell only, furthers that. Dane Gagai, Jimmy the Jet, all these guys, mate, they are going to be dangerous. That being said, I do think their forward pack does lack. The loss of Sam Burgess at the end of last season, I think, really, really hurt them.
Yeah.
And which other Burgess brothers went? Was it George or Tom?
Tom.
England's favourite
George.
son.
And then the other one retired.
Sam retired.
Sam
retired. One stayed at the Rabbits, and another one went over to the UK.
I don't know, one of the twins stayed.
One of the twins.
It always works when
Remember-
the Burgess go back to the UK.
George stayed.
Isn't there a fourth one? There's a fourth
Yeah,
one.
there's
not.
another one.
Yeah.
I think there's a fifth one.
I feel bad for their mum. No, there's
No,
not.
I have no idea.
No, yeah.
Just chucking it out there.
No, but I think again,
Snow White and the Seven
Did you just say you
Burgesses.
feel bad for their mum? Jesus.
Snow White and the Seven
Grim.
Burgesses.
one more time.
What? Snow White and the Seven Burgesses.
There we go. Third time lucky.
No, again, I think they've got the backline to boast.
Yeah.
If their forward pack can hold their own, which to me in rugby league, I think it's less significant.
I think so too. It's not like, your pack weight's not good enough.
No,
You're
no,
not winning the line out. You're not winning the breakdown.
I think forwards are very important because you can't get any momentum in your sets
See, that's
if
just-
you don't have a good forward pack.
I just
I think that's-
agree.
That's rugby league coaches, I think, being closed-minded. Now, Gusman, we've run this by you.
Yes.
Yeah.
My idea is that if I was an NRL coach, I'd pick a team of centres.
Yeah.
The
No,
perfect athlete for rugby
Maybe
league.
some more speedy boys on the wing, but in
that's-
terms of centres
Just
inside.
generally centres.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
And just
I
run them left
just-
and right.
Yeah, I just don't
Seriously.
think it'd work.
It would, because you're picking a team of fat boys in the middle, and I'm picking
Yeah,
some...
but
thick boys.
those fat boys are trained to make 40, 50 tackles a game. They're trained to run hard at a defensive line.
Yeah,
a lot
but-
of these centers are brought up and they touch the ball 5 times in a game.
It'd have to be a big preseason, mate. But if I'm running from one sideline to the other, obviously going forward as well, then these boys in the middle, they can maybe hold their own for 20 minutes.
Yeah, look,
Then it starts to get dodgy.
I
It would be fun.
think your team of centers would be coming dead last. That's
Anyway.
all I'm
All
saying.
I'm saying, rugby challenge.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
do
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Let's get it.
so-
Even though that's union, but is there an NRL game at the moment?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Rugby
rugby-
League
yeah.
Live.
There we
Rugby
go.
League Live.
Let's do it. Get a team of centres.
And I just want to say this too. The spine, I think, at the Rabbitohs is very,
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
good. Adam Reynolds, of course, being named skipper last week. I think that's a
Big.
big tick.
Mhm.
He's a Redfern boy through and through.
Yeah,
It's really good to see, I guess, him. I think he lived literally across the road,
yeah.
or literally,
That's awesome.
figuratively, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
close to.
Mm.
So he's come through the junior programs and whatnot, and he's now the skipper.
That would be awesome.
But of course, the former Blues halfback, man, he'll be firing this year.
Yeah, 100%.
Campbell.
My pick is the Storm. I do really like the Rabbits as well. I think we could even see like a Storm Rabbits final potentially. I think, Roosters, I wouldn't be surprised if they win it either. They're in the mix, obviously. They always have to be considered, at least at this stage.
I guess the issue with them, though, is the loss of Cooper Cronk and the inclusion of not Shane Flanagan, Kyle
yeah.
Flanagan.
Yeah, I
Is
think
he's a young
Cronk's
boy?
a bit aging though.
No, Cronk's gone.
I know he's gone.
But
That's what I'm
he-
saying. I think he
he-
was aging.
He was still very, very good. That being said, Luke Keary is incredibly good.
Yeah.
So, but can he support
Mm.
Kyle as well as
Yeah.
Kronk supported him?
Mhm.
That's the question. If he can, 3-peat.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the Storm. Why do you think the Storm will win? Is it just?
I think they got a good young side.
They're quite they're quite clinical.
Minor premiers last year.
Yeah.
Good side, good
Yeah.
young side. I mean, they have lost Brodie Croft, correct? So
Yeah.
They're
there's that. But they're
consistent,
consistent. They got Pappenhausen, who's really good. They
And
got a few young players who
and
I
they got
think are
the
quite good.
They got the best coach in the game.
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
much. Of course, you boys know who I'm gonna.
Yeah,
what-
okay.
what side
Do we
I'm
even
gonna
need
go.
to talk about this?
Yeah,
the
we do.
Canberra Raiders, 6
No.
again.
Your
No.
hometown team, mate.
See, it's definitely going to be the Sydney Roosters for a 3-peat. Look, they have been the best side in the last decade. No questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
Them and the Storm, but I think the Roosters are outdoing them now.
Yeah, I would
I
agree.
think they're going to repeat that Eels side from the early 80s, 81, 82, 83, that won 3 in a row.
Peter Sterling's there.
Yeah, Peter Sterling's day.
I love that film because he's got like
Yeah, he's-
hair, and you can so clearly see, mate,
Yeah.
shave it.
Yeah.
Get it off.
Something I can relate to all too much.
Yeah.
CJ.
No, I expect Luke Keary to step up in the absence of Cooper Cronk, as you mentioned. I think
But what if
Flanagan will play a nice supporting role.
What if Keary goes down at round 2? ACL.
That's going to be tough.
Obviously,
I hope he does.
please no.
Yeah.
But if he does, hypothetically,
well, obviously Flanagan would step into the main role, and then you might be
Sam Walker?
considering no, that's not going to happen. You might be
soon.
considering a guy like Drew Hutchison or Lachlan Lamb to play that backup role, but that'd put a lot of pressure on Flanagan for that season. So if that did happen, God forbid, I don't think the Roosters would win without Kieran.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a tangent too, mate, but Jake Friend, is he the Queensland scrum hooker
Yeah.
in 2020?
Yeah, I think so.
I think-
if he's not injured,
If he's
I think
fit.
he'll be there.
I think so. I think he's
Unless they're idiots and they go with Turpin or something like that.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned someone there, and I want to touch on it briefly. We're not going to talk about him specifically, but you mentioned Sam Walker.
Yeah.
Let's talk about youngsters.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who are our kind of youngsters, rookies to watch. All right.
I didn't.
who you
I
gonna
didn't.
pitch?
I didn't mention Sam Walker. I wasn't thinking. I didn't mention Sam Walker mainly because I don't think he'll play
that
first
much?
grade.
No. If he was playing, if he was at a different side,
Yeah.
could be getting it.
This guy.
No one's going to take a chance on a 17-year-old.
No.
Even
No.
he might be very, very good as he is.
Oh, they'll snap him in half. He's
That's-
not big enough.
That's the thing. It's not worth it, mate.
Has to
So
thicken up.
he could be at the Warriors, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't pick him. They'd
No.
ruin him,
Mm.
like mentally,
Jeez.
but they wouldn't pick him.
He's not Kiwi, so
No, it's the
he
culture.
wouldn't get in the team.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
culture of that club, seriously.
Anyway.
That's a podcast series on its own.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But who is your youngster that
I've-
you think will be a shining light?
I've gone with Nico Hines. Now, this guy played Intra Super Cup for the Sunshine Coast Falcons last year. Of course, that Falcons side was unbelievable. They had a for and against of about 700. So the attack is there. He played fullback for them, so he pretty much acts as a sort of he makes a good utility player as well. So I think Melbourne, with their lack of backs, I think they might chuck him on the bench at some stage throughout the season, and they'll probably give him a run as a utility role. Probably chuck him in at they might maybe do a little bit of dummy half running with him, bit of
but-
5'8".
Mate, Brandon Smith, he's
Yeah.
there. So do you think?
Yeah,
Do you think?
I think Brandon's-
Hines is going to come in and replace him.
I think Hines will be that utility role. So I think he'll come in for like a 10-minute stint, what Pappenhausen did last year.
But where does Brandon Smith fit, and where does Cam Smith fit, and I guess
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah,
Because does Cam Smith?
it's interesting.
There is a bit of chat about it. Does he go to halfback?
Yeah,
There's a bit of chat about
there
that.
is, but I don't think it happens.
I think that's a very bad call.
yeah,
personally,
it won't work. He's the best hooker in the game. Like you don't take him out of that position.
Damien Cook.
No, Cameron Smith's still worlds above Damien Cook. Damien Cook's pretty good, but he's not quite up to Smith's level yet. But I do think that Brandon Smith's obviously the guy who's going to replace him. So whether they chuck Nico Hines in as a little stint, 10-minute stint here and there, do what they did with Pappenhausen last year. Maybe chuck him in the forward pack a little bit.
I guess
run him around.
Yeah, but that's what Brandon Smith does. So I think ultimately they're not going to pick two guys who can fill the one position
Yeah,
or do the same role.
Yeah,
Actually,
I understand, but I feel like they will give this guy a chance.
yeah, I guess we'd like to see it because
Yeah.
the Falcons were so dominant
Yeah, exactly.
last season. But Brandon Smith, just quickly, Kiwi, Warriors, sign him.
Sign him
If he's
up.
part of your eligibility criteria of being from the land of the long white cloud,
If you're Brandon Smith, are you going, I want to play for Melbourne, or let's take some money and go to the Warriors?
but the thing is,
Warriors.
yeah, Warriors.
and
mate.
it's just a Mount
Is that
Smart.
come on, mate.
Yeah, absolute Coliseum.
But he could start there, couldn't he? And he would probably be the captain in, I'm going to say, 3 years. Like,
They'd get him a statue,
seriously, that'd be part of the contract.
a block of
wouldn't it?
cheese,
A
out,
block
out
of
the front
cheese.
of Mount Smart.
Yeah, but it's I guess it all depends on that. Depending on Cam Smith, does he retire at the end of 2020? Actually, on that quick poll,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. So if Cam Smith retires, if he hangs up the boots, Brandon Smith, he steps up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So why is he going to go to the Warriors, possibly for bigger money? If Cam Smith's going, hey, you can have my jersey next year.
Mm.
Anyway, my rookie is Xavier Coates. He's not a rookie. He played 3 games last year, but boys, this guy is good centre/winger
Yeah.
for the Bronx Nation.
Bronk.
Now, the interesting thing about this fella is he played for Papua New Guinea before he played for the Broncos. How?
Unheard of.
It just, Jonah Lomu did that in rugby. Just a quick
Yeah.
rugby mention, but
I mean, you
again,
see-
it doesn't happen in this day and age.
I mean, you see a lot of the sort of younger guys coming in and playing for sides like PNG, the Cook Islands, stuff like that. Guys from Intra Super Cup.
As like development teams.
Yeah. The development side. Yeah, they come in and play for the actual national sides because there's just not enough talent.
Yeah, that's
at the moment.
Well, that's my issue with we mentioned it last week in the Kaliamponga ET.
Yeah.
But the state of international rugby league, like it doesn't. When most of the teams are development sides for the 3 Tier 1 nations, it doesn't really seem to work, or it doesn't seem to mean anything to me. So then when Fox Sports are like Australia World Cup champions, it's like, oh, what does that even mean? When all these teams are basically just going, hey, you can have our player next year.
Pretty crazy. Well, I'll get on to mine. I'm going to say, it's probably pretty predictable, but Hamaso Tabuai Fidau, watched him when I was in high school. He was actually, we haven't really touched on this, but he was actually spotted by a North Queensland Cowboys scout who was going to watch Tom Gilbert, who was currently he was on the books at the time for the Cowboys in high school. Went to a game and thought, who's this kid? Because if you haven't seen him already, go watch NRL 9's highlights. Go watch his highlights from last year. He runs a 10.85 over 100 metres.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
It's almost like qualifying.
Like you back in your prime,
my heyday, exactly. No, he is absolutely electric. He doesn't look like he's fast when he's running, but his stride length is just huge.
Man, his first try at the Nines. Remember, I think we were watching it at the time. But he got the ball on the wing, about 70 metres out, beat his man with pure pace, and then instead of like taking on the fullback, he grabbed the ball past them,
and beat him.
Quick thinking. Great skills, man. This guy's he's a player for the future, isn't he?
He really is a player.
But
Queensland under-18s player.
But does he play this year?
I think he does.
I think not, unless the Cowboys have another stinker like they did last year.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
If they do, then they do what they did with Kaliamponga. Actually, Kaliamponga, he debuted in the prelim, didn't he? But yeah, I don't think he's going to play.
Well, yeah,
unless the Cowboys really struggle.
Well, that's what I think. I think they potentially will. They're probably one of my smokies, so we'll get onto that in a second. But I think they will probably they go, you know what, we need to change something. He played a very good preseason, very good season last year. I think he can make a difference. He's a really mercurial player. He's a game changer. He was at schoolboy level.
What was that word? Mercurial.
Mercurial.
Jeez, you have been reading the dictionary, mate.
I'm doing a creative writing subject at uni. I can't help it.
Actually, lectures are back, boys. How are we finding it?
Yeah. Been to one. Yeah.
I've already missed like 3.
Well, 2 of mine are when I have work, so I can't watch them anyway. Anyway, off topic. He's my pick. I think he's going to be, if he plays, I think he'll be sensational this year. I think he's a real shot to play just because of how they were last year. But so on that, Smokey, they're my Smokey. They finished 14th last year.
The Cowboys.
Yeah. So I think, I think they're just too strong of a side to go like that again. Will they make the 8? Maybe. Depends.
I see them making the 8 with Val Holmes at the back.
With Val Holmes, it's a big difference. Hopefully they're more healthy than they were last year.
I think Morgan will step up as well for them. So
yeah.
I think they'll make the 8. My Smokey is the Bulldogs. Now, we saw a little, some great form from the Bulldogs at the back end of 2019. They were quite outstanding. And what really surprised me about the Bulldogs is they managed to win tight games and they managed to win games where they didn't score a lot of points. Now, that says a lot to me about their defence, and defence is the most important thing in rugby league because defence wins you titles and it wins you the big games. So I expect the Bulldogs to make the 8, and I expect them to actually give a good run of the finals as well. I think they'll win their first game in the finals and they could actually challenge.
That'd be amazing.
But what's really given you that confidence, Gusman, in the off season? Have they brought in anyone noteworthy?
They haven't even done many
good
signings.
He's injured again. Unfortunately,
yeah,
he was injured late last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was injured, and he is their big player. I mean, he's on the money, but I'm more looking at it from a coaching aspect. I think Dean Pay's been brilliant coming into that side, and he's really transformed a Bulldog side that was suffering from salary cap issues. They had to offload a few players. So they haven't been able to sign anyone, but they've been able to build this sort of team spirit, this actual belief that they can do well, and they showcased it at the end of 2019.
Yeah, but belief can only get you so far, Gusman. I think, as you mentioned, they were pretty strong to end the season last year, but that can't propel you to the finals necessarily when you don't have the talent, when you don't have the skill set. So I think they might struggle. But
I still think they've got plenty of talent in the back. So I think the Bulldogs will do well. I don't like the Bulldogs. Like I'm not saying this because I like the side, but
Not a fan of Canterbury.
No, they're top 3 most hated sides. But I know the Canterbury Bulldogs, and I know the Canterbury Bulldogs of old.
Personally, or
no, as in
a Bulldog called Canterbury.
No, back in the year, like the 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, those years, they were pretty good, and they show a lot of spirit, the Bulldogs, and they never give up, and that's an important quality for a side in this NRL competition, because
But when you're down by 30, never giving up doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. To be fair,
but this is what I'm basing it off. Games from the end of last year, though, the form that they've got coming in right now, they lost tightly to the Raiders, of course, in a trial recently, 12-10, with a Raiders side that was full of first graders. That shows to me already that they've still got this fight, and that Dean Pay's really turning this club around.
And picking off back end form is actually a really good way to make your money in that kind of thing. I know. When Leicester won the title in the football, obviously it's not the same thing, but they were one of the best sides in form at the end of the, 2015 Premier League season. Going into 2016, we all know how that went, magical. So it's actually a pretty good call on your behalf. I don't know how well they'll go, but on their end of season form, good pick. What about you, Phineas?
Well, there are 2 teams who I want to highlight here.
Mm.
First one, kind of a gimmick, but also not, and that's going to be my boys, the Warriors.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Now, a few years ago, they are written off year to year, ultimately, but they do
written
have
off by themselves, mate.
They are, and by me.
Mm.
Hate to love them.
You do.
Hate to love them.
Mm.
Anyway, they have so much talent normally, and we saw that a few years ago when they put that to the fore. They won, I think, 4 of their first 5, Gusman, I want to say 3 years ago. And they showed that they have the potential to compete in this league, but it's all about the start for this Warriors team. I don't think they aren't the type of team who are going to win their last 10 in a row to make finals. That's not going to happen. The Warriors are such a momentum-based side, but they have to start well. Can they? They play the Knights first up, and that's the other team I want to mention, the Knights. Kalen Ponga, Mitchell Pearce, 2 players who I think are arguably, I want to say top 10, top 20, top 15 in the league at the moment.
Kalen's definitely up there.
Mitchell Pearce, for me, even though he's a smoky for the Dally M, and if he has a Dally M season, watch the Knights lift the trophy.
Well, who do you think is going to win the Dally M on that note?
I'm tempted to say Pearce, but I'll say Luke Keary is a safer bet. But Mitchell Pearce, watch him too.
Yep.
I think Tedesco's going to win another one.
Yeah, surprise there from you, mate.
Teddy.
I actually think, I know it's a bit of a hot take here. Maybe Val Holmes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He was very close when he was here.
The Cowboys would have to play very well for.
Yeah,
Val
this is true. Either him or no, I'd probably go him.
I was thinking Payne Haas as well, because he was very close to winning
our best mate. For those who don't know, Finn and I were in the car and we saw Payne Haas on the side of the road. Almost got him on the podcast. Didn't speak to him.
Yeah, I did everything except speak to him. That's my joke. Don't you dare steal that, Campbell. That was
Sorry.
my joke. I'm going to have to start copywriting this stuff. Anyway, another joke coming. 3, 2, 1. I think Billy Slater could win it.
Oh,
that's funny.
There we go.
Yeah, I like that.
For all you rugby league faithful out there, you'll get that.
Yeah.
You can feel
I'm
free
not
to use
one
it.
of the rugby league faithful. Oh no, look, quickly, before we get into our tale, who is your signing of the season? Gus, you kick us off.
Oh, I've gone with Ryan Madison for the Parramatta
Good player.
Eels. Yeah, former Rooster, of course, so I got a little bit of a soft spot there for him, but he is quality. I mean, defensively, he's one of the best players in the game. He offers a little bit more in attack as well, because I mean, he played 5'8" for the Roosters. He's one of the biggest 5'8s I've ever seen, but he is quality, and I think he's a big signing for the Eels, and he could get him into that top 4 and give him a real shot at the premiership.
But of course, a bit controversial, wasn't it? How he left the Tigers last year?
It was controversial. He was asking for I think he was just asking for a straight release, wasn't he? It wasn't even about. I don't think it was even about money, but
I thought it was
a weird one.
It might have been about money as well, but I think he wanted to get out of the
He
Tigers.
just didn't want to be out west.
I think he smelt something bad in the water and was just like.
I mean, he doesn't want to be out west, mate. They're the 2 Westies.
Paramount right next
West
door.
Tigers. Doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, no.
Actually,
they're not far off.
Actually, just on that, the Eels, another smoky, genuine contender.
Yeah,
this year, I think.
for sure.
They are a top 3, maybe the Sea Eagles as well.
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned Tigers there. I'm going to say Joey Leilua. I mean, Mr. Sparkler in the eye.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm going to say him. Big move this off-season.
Big bopper.
Big bopper. Big Barbie.
Big Barbie.
No, he's up at Big Puppy's up at the Knights, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, second season there now.
Yeah. So I'm going Joey Leilua. Good player.
Yeah, I was going to go Val.
2-time Dally M winner.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Centre of the year.
Leilua absolutely tore the Warriors. Was the Warriors apart in the trial match?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
he was unreal.
Actually, I flicked that on last week. They played the Warriors at, I want to say, where was it? Blanking on it. Never mind. Somewhere in New
Concord
Zealand.
Oval.
Tauranga, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Tauranga. But basically, the Warriors got snotted. So signs of things to come, I guess. But my pick, gents, Val Holmes, signing of the season, getting him back from the NFL. How impressed are we with that signing? As a Cronulla fan, put your Cronulla hat on for a second, Gusman. How pissed off are you?
Mortified. I'd be mortified.
Seriously, I think you should be.
Yeah.
You should be, because I think the deal was, or the expectation was, if you walk away, that's fine. But if you come back, we get first dibs.
Yeah, you think so, hey?
And it seemed that from the day he left, it was Cowboys.
Yeah.
Even before he got to New York, it was like he signed for the Cowboys.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's from up north, so I think he used to live in in the north of Queensland.
Again,
so I think that had a lot to do with it. But also, Cronulla are under serious salary cap pressure.
As if you wouldn't want to be in the Shire, mate.
The Shire.
Yeah,
The Shire.
Bra boys.
ScoMo's Sharkies.
I don't
Scotty
think,
from marketing.
I don't think Valentine Holmes would want to play on $200,000 a year when he could take $1 million from the Cowboys. Like,
Yeah, no way.
Anyway, my other one that I do want to mention is Curtis Scott.
There we go.
Sorry, for the Canberra Raiders. I think he could be great. He's been cleared of off-field antics at the moment.
Yeah.
So he could be dangerous. He was great for the Storm in years gone by, and boys, he could be something.
Yeah,
he could really propel that Raiders
I think
team
they've
to something
signed well.
dangerous.
I think
they
they got George
They
Williams as well. So I think the Raiders will be even more dangerous in 2020.
Watch the space.
There you go. That's our 2020 NRL preview. Boys, I think we did a good job of kind of recapping all of it, or I guess previewing it
We
for this
tried to,
upcoming season.
Siege. We spent 40 minutes on it, so
We did.
Plenty of content, though. Plenty of content.
Yeah, I feel like I held my own in someone who's not
that
a
was
big
good.
NRL fan.
That was good, mate. That was good.
Yeah, all right. Should we get straight into the tail? Let's not cut.
Yeah.
Let's go straight into the tail. I'm sorry for your loss, mate. I'm sorry for your loss.
Dude, I was
one?
actually very happy.
I was over the moon. I remember waking up and just seeing a photo of Arsene Wenger holding the Golden Premier League trophy.
I wonder how many times I watched the highlights of Watford and Liverpool.
Yeah.
Smiley star.
I think it's quite sad that you guys as Chelsea and Arsenal fans take pride in my team losing.
Yep.
Because your clubs are doing so average.
Hey.
And that's being generous.
Excuse me, top 4.
Top 10.
Wasn't there? I remember at one point, it was a few months ago now.
We were we were closer to relegation than the top.
No,
to
I
you
think
guys
it was
or something like
the
that.
difference between us and the top 4 was 30 points.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was the same difference between...
The distance from Liverpool to Arsenal was the distance from top 4 to first.
There you go.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
No.
I forgot what
I
it
think
was.
we were closer to relegation pretty much. Or like we had as many points as you were off like second or something ridiculous. We're doing terribly. It's not about Arsenal. We suck at the moment. This isn't a new thing, but we're invincible.
What the hell was that stat?
I can't remember now.
I
Who
think
cares?
Yeah, let's brush
the
on.
distance.
We're embarrassing ourselves.
We are, but let's keep going.
I'm going to get this
he's going to
right.
get it. All right.
Okay, the distance from Liverpool to Chelsea was the same as Arsenal's points. So
Yeah,
that's what I think it was.
That was it.
That's what I think it was.
There was about a 30-point difference between them. Yeah, we got
That's
it.
what I was trying to say.
We got it.
Oh, that was.
no.
Oh, can you also? Sorry.
Oh, no.
Angus Bryan is wearing a ring, and you have been for ages. That hurts, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Get your ring. You're not married.
No, it's a defensive mechanism.
Is he?
Oi,
Plot twist?
Smokey.
I got
Smokey to get married.
I got 3 kids in Romania as well.
Brian. Is there something you're not telling us, mate?
Pavel's a very lucky man.
He is a very lucky man.
Anyway,
He was the one who called me at 1 a.m. What can I say?
Late night calls from Pavel Florin.
how things escalate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Liverpool, they've now lost 3 of their last 4. So trouble in paradise. Are the wheels falling off?
Would you call Liverpool paradise? I feel like it's the furthest place.
Bloody
in paradise.
Scouser.
I think Manchester's worse, but it's bloody
Oh, no,
close.
Liverpool's like the Ipswich of England.
It really is.
I think.
Even the accent is just.
Yeah. No, it's because there was a Liverpool fan who went on the radio after their loss to Chelsea the other day.
You are nothing. You are a fool.
No, he started.
I forgot about that until then.
That's great.
He went on the radio and he started saying, "I don't know how we're going to win these next 4. Like, Liverpool need to win 4 more games to win the league." And this Liverpool fan's going, "I don't know where those 4 games are going to come from."
If you guys slipped, I would be so happy. Pardon the pun.
No,
I meant to say it as well. It wasn't accidental. You get Demba Ba.
man, if they don't win it this year by some divine miracle from your point of view, Campbell,
I want to see you win one.
well, you
But
don't clearly.
Yeah.
no, but it would just be hilarious if
Well,
you didn't.
You know what? I've seen in the news recently, and these are all rumors, but I mean, you've got the coronavirus going around right now, and
You've been coughing a bit, mate.
apparently there's even a meteor heading towards Earth. So,
I didn't
Well,
know.
get your bog roll, boys, because it's all out of stores.
I heard that apparently there's a meteor heading towards Earth, and it's going to hit around April.
Oh, have you been putting on your tinfoil hat, mate?
No,
It's all good. I'll just dodge it.
I'll dodge it.
It's literally going to wipe out Liverpool's title before it happens.
I mean,
No,
could
but-
happen.
So they're literally going to have to survive a meteor.
So I guess from your point of view, gents,
Mm.
how serious are these Liverpool losses in terms
Huge.
of the race for the title? Seriously, because they are out of the FA Cup.
I mean, do
Humongous.
you care about the FA Cup as a fan?
To be honest, well, I think the
Three-peat. Arsenal. The best period of in 15 years. Thank you very much.
well, I think I saw it on Fox Sports. They raised a good question earlier in the week. Now that Liverpool were so good for so long, and now they're starting to get knocked out of these competitions, even if they win the league, is the season still a failure?
No. If you win the league, I think that's absolutely a success. And in any club's mind, winning the league, I'd prefer to win the league than win the Champions League.
Yeah,
Especially for a club like you that have
probably.
never won a Premier League. You've won a league, but in terms of what we consider in the Premier League era, you haven't won one.
Yeah.
So
I think it's more important. And you won Champions League last year. That's ticked off the box.
I think it's a failure, mate. Not a
I don't
failure,
think
not
so.
an out-and-out failure. I just don't think it's as good as what it could have been.
Could have been.
If you win the Premier League and Champions League, that is definitely not a failure.
Yeah, but
No way.
we're 1-0 down to Atletico.
Try being Arsenal and Chelsea, mate. You ungrateful. Insert expletive.
I'm not
Speak for
ungrateful.
yourself. Chelsea are good.
Mate, a few years,
Good's a stretch.
We won it in 2016. What are you talking
a
about?
few years ago,
Yeah.
getting up at 5 a.m, all excited to watch Liverpool play Crystal Palace, going, "This is the day we win the league."
Joe Allen.
3-0.
Not
yeah,
yet.
literally.
Was he? Yeah,
Yeah, he was there.
inside.
Starting
Lazar,
striker.
was he there? Joe Allen, the Welsh Perlo
Welsh
himself.
Perlo.
At least they didn't have Shamak up front.
Oh, jeez, don't remind
But
me.
guys, remember
Andre
this.
Arshavin.
3-0 up, 15 minutes to go. One hand on the trophy. They've probably started the engraving the trophy.
Probably.
And then
Here comes Dwight Gale.
Dwight Gale with 2 and Jedinak with the 3rd. I think
All
it
I'm
was.
thinking of there is some guy sitting underneath the stadium with the soldering iron going, "You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Damn it.
You've got to
Scribble it out.
scribble it out. There's no white out. You can't just go over it.
Gonna need a new trophy.
Oh, God. Get us the backup one. Come on. But I find that hilarious because, in the Super Bowl, how they'll wear, like, Kansas City Chiefs, like 2020 NFL champions.
World champions.
World
Yeah.
champions. They make all the, who was in the Super Bowl? Like San Francisco 49ers.
Kansas, yeah.
They make, like, the alternates.
Yeah.
I just find it so funny how
No, they've got to
you
bid 'em.
for God's sake, it's such a waste. No, they give them to kids in Africa.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's good.
So there's little African kids walking around with San Francisco 49ers.
They
Or-
thought 49ers won the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
yeah. Or the Patriots,
Good on you.
Yeah, I had to bring it up.
Good on you.
More so, there's an Atlanta Falcons shirt running around in Africa.
Well, to be fair, they probably started selling
Yeah,
those
they probably
Falcon
did.
shirts.
They probably did,
that was
yeah.
basically a shoe-in and they stuffed it up somehow. But
Yeah. I know
anyway.
one of the Brisbane Lions players bought one halfway through that final.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he bought a Matt Ryan jersey halfway through. I can't remember
No.
which player it was. Maybe like Reece Matheson or
Well, I
something.
guess let's hope Liverpool don't do a Falcons. That's my hope, at least.
Let's
I
hope.
don't think they will. I think these are, people tend to be over the top when this type of thing starts to happen, but
Let's
they'll,
hope.
they'll kick back.
Let's
won't
hope.
they?
Let's hope Liverpool
Yeah.
don't do a Liverpool. Let's just say that.
Basically, yeah.
Pretty much.
Come on,
Yeah.
Liverpool, do your best
I-
impersonation of United.
Oh, or Arsenal.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well, with someone we want to talk about, we're a big fan of him on the show. We think he's going to get the gold jersey this year, the Wallabies jersey. Leading try scorer in
leading assists as well, I think.
probably UQ Rugby's favourite son.
Favourite son.
Favourite son, maybe.
Oh, big shout.
What about
there.
me?
Yeah.
God,
you may be the favourite cousin.
Surely I'm up
Maybe.
there. Surely I'm up there. Went to UQ.
You've never-
Then quit, went to QT.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Tate McDermott.
Tatey,
We're talking
mate.
about him.
Mate, he was knocking on
Potato.
the door for a gold jersey last year. I think he was not unlucky to miss out on a Wallabies jersey, but if he was there, you wouldn't have questioned it.
No, I think he's put the number 9 on his back.
I think he has.
Well and truly, especially with, start of a new World Cup cycle. You're not seeing Nick White in there.
Not even just that, mate.
It's between him and Joe Powell, and then Nick White will be back up, I think.
I think Tate starts,
Mhm.
Nick White off the bench, and then Powell in the 3,
Mhm.
so as the reserve. But I think initially, Tate will bench and Nick White will start.
I completely agree.
For maybe a game or two.
Mhm.
But then Dave Rennie will go, hey, we need to swap this.
And also, there's no point in starting a 29-year-old halfback with 4 years out from the World Cup, in my opinion.
Well, no, because he's going to be there at the next World Cup, mate. But
As a 34-year-old, 35-year-old halfback,
say he's 29 now, right?
is he 29?
that-
Okay,
is that what you
33. Okay, I think he's 29 from my memory.
Well, he's joining a few other Queenslanders in that side, James O'Connor, so he'll be learning a lot from
29,
those boys.
okay.
You read
Yeah.
my mind there, Gasman, because I was about to touch on that. James
Yeah.
O'Connor,
Ooh,
Jock.
tasty.
He's been in such good form for the Reds so far this season. To be fair, keep in mind, he did go off injured
Yeah, I was about
against
to
the
say
Sharks,
he's injured.
his ankle. But hopefully, for your sake at least,
Yeah,
as Wallabies fans, that he's back in a gold jumper. And I think he's got the 10 jumper.
Yeah, I
if
think
he
so
wants
as
it.
well.
that halves pairing would be very tasty.
That's what I mean.
Plenty of Reds in that
Then you
side as
see
well. Patea's
Geordie,
coming in.
although he's injured.
Pate's
We
out
saw
for
him
the
on the
season.
weekend.
We saw him down
Patea,
at
yeah,
Yeah.
of course he's out.
Saw him down at Sunnybank.
We did. We saw him on the weekend.
Is
I
it?
don't think we told you about this. We saw Jordan Patea
Yeah.
cool.
on the weekend. Yeah.
Talk to him.
Nah,
I've
he's
already,
injured. You don't want to bug him.
Hey, you don't want to annoy him.
No, exactly.
I've already spoken to him before. I don't want to do it again.
That's a massive flex
Yeah.
from you, mate. No, but
No.
I think that halves pairing, I think even then you get Patea as
It
well.
does, but then
you probably even get. Oh no, he's not going to make it. I was going to say Jock Campbell. He's
I
been
was-
really
no,
good,
I was
but
gonna- I was
I
gonna
don't
s-
think he's quite at the Wallabies level.
I was going to say that. I think he is. I think he's probably Australia's most underrated rugby player.
I think
at
so
the
too.
moment.
I think he's taking Curtly Beale's jersey.
No, I don't think he will. But I
Chuck him on
think
the outside.
Tom Banks has that 15 jersey locked and loaded.
He's been very good.
He's been very good for the Brumbies. Curtly Beale, he'll slot in there somehow.
Maybe he seems to stick around.
Maybe
he?
as a 13. Or
I was about to say 13.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think he's played there at Test match level yet.
Could.
But he could even come on as an impact sub. He's got that experience, that coming on in the last half an hour. He could be invaluable for the boys in green and gold this season. But I think Jock Campbell is a bit of a smoky for an outside backs role in the squad.
Yeah,
Not-
I would
not
love
even the
to see
extended
him.
squad.
Oh, I would love to see him play.
But the issue with Jock Campbell is, and he's a bit of a liability in a sense for the Reds at the moment with his goal kicking.
I was about to say I haven't been actually fancying his goal kicking. I think it hasn't been very good.
He was, the commentators picked him out last week as saying he was probably the reason they lost. Because keep in mind they did lose by 10, but the Sharks scored an intercept try with about 10-15 to go, and then I think the Reds scored with the final play of the game, something like that. I could be very wrong. I watched it a week ago. My mind's all over the place. But basically, Jock Campbell, if he starts when the game was 5 points the difference, if you knock over 3 conversions like you should have,
Yeah.
you've got the lead.
Yeah, you do.
You control the game.
Yeah, even against the Sunwolves in a low pressure game, I think how many tries did we call? Like 9.
Yep.
I think he only got 6 conversions. So
Exactly,
it's not that bad.
He did
but
split.
still not great.
He did split the goal kicking duties with is it Bryce Hegarty?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. But the
I think they're trying to figure that out. I reckon even chuck Jock on there.
well,
I mean, Jock.
yeah.
Yeah, James O'Connor.
James
He used to
O'Connor.
do it as a youngster.
Something that could be interesting too is Dave Rennie coming in as a Kiwi coach. Now, what the All Blacks like doing is they like having 2 fullbacks and a winger.
Yeah.
In a sense, so basically
Fullback at fly half. mainly?
as in have a fullback on the
wing?
14.
Yeah,
jumper.
okay. Yeah, fair.
So that could work in Jock's favour. You have Tom Banks
Yeah.
at fullback and Jock on the right wing,
I'd
and
froth
then
that.
Corabetti on the left.
Because they're very
That's-
different players too.
Yeah, and they've tried doing this in years gone by with Dane Haylett-Petty, of course, and even Reece Hodge, in a sense, who's not an out-and-out winger.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
He's,
of Reece
he's
Hodge.
more of a okay fullback or a good centre for me. But they kind of just put him in there because they went, let's make him work.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing, backline of, Tom Banks at fullback, then you see, Corabetti, then you see Jock Campbell, Tate McDermott, James O'Connor, Jordan Patea, Curtly Beale, even.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Beale will be in there in some regard. He could even be there at 12.
Who else
I
would you
think.
play at outside? Or would you,
At
or either one of the
At
centres?
outside centre?
Yeah, either one of the centre positions. Because
well-
Jordan Patea's got one of them.
I do like Matt Tamura at 12.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice. I like that.
I think that's a bit interesting. But
bit of flair there too.
it is quite topical now, Gusman. It's being discussed in the media at the moment is the Ghetto law. Now, if you guys remember this, it was a few years
when he was
ago.
overseas?
Yeah, so Matt Ghetto was playing overseas, and the Wallabies at the 2015 World Cup went we're stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
We need Giddo's help. We need Drew Mitchell. We need Adam Ashley Cooper. So they made this Giddo law, which I think was if you played 60 tests for the Wallabies, you then got to go overseas but still be eligible.
Wow.
But I think
I didn't even know about this. This is
So
great.
they invented a new law.
Yeah,
pretty much.
to allow them to play,
and that-
because previously you weren't allowed to play if you weren't in Australia,
exactly.
basically, currently playing.
Yeah.
And doing bunny years, they called it the Ghetto law
Yeah.
because Ghetto was basically the
Star
reason
player,
they did it. Yeah. And they're looking to extend that. I don't know how necessarily, but if they do that, we could see
I was about to say, who we-
Karevi come back.
Okay, yep. I was about to say, who are we poaching from who's playing overseas at the
There are
moment?
plenty of players. Will
Poey?
Genia.
Was?
You know, Pocock, I think he's done.
Yeah.
I think Genia is done, actually, thinking about it.
Kenny is definitely done.
The way because he bowed out as a very good player,
Mm.
but I think he seemed content, I think, with his career coming to an end.
I think he potentially played one too many World Cups. Like that last one. Like in Japan, he didn't really do anything.
I mean,
he was the best halfback going into that World Cup. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, if you're thinking for players for the future, you're not going to go picking up Genya now.
no chance.
There's no reason.
Saw him in Ronan Street Parklands once. Fun fact.
Claims
Yeah.
of fame. And we touched on this weeks ago, actually, but this is the golden age of Australian rugby, or at least that's how we've prophesised it in a sense. So is Dave Rennie going to go, hey, let's bring back some old-timers?
I don't think
When
so.
we can blood Harry Wilson, I think he's a lock.
I think he's a lock.
I think he's your number
Actually,
8.
I think he's. I was about to make that joke.
No, he's number 8.
Yeah.
So I find that
You should have made
hilarious.
it. Could have capitalised. It was great.
Even Liam Wright. Now, the Red skipper, I don't actually rate him that much.
I don't rate him that much, but apparently he's got a lot of pull in that red side. He's I don't think he's the best flanker in that side.
No.
I think there's
you
one.
just like your boy Fraser, don't you?
Yeah, I think he's pushing for a spot. Do you even maybe flex a few players to allow Fraser to play inside? Maybe chuck out Scott Young and then
Scott Young's not there at the moment.
He's not there at the moment.
No,
Who's playing second row?
Second row, it is Isaac Rodder and Harry Hutchinson.
Okay, so you probably
What's the surname? Oh, Hutchinson.
no
Hawkins.
Harry
That's the
Hawkins.
one.
Okay, both very good players. I think maybe get rid of one of them and then maybe put
I even think
Salakai Loto into the second row.
Hawkins is another very good player.
He's bloody tall.
He is very,
He's
very
a churchy
tall.
boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, I think.
I think he is, yeah.
Southport,
I'll double check
maybe.
that.
But basically, he's another player who I think is a UQ boy. That's all that matters.
That's all we care about.
Yeah.
He's another player who I think could be blooded, if not this year.
Churchy boy.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of season tour. Now, when they do play Italy, should that go ahead, obviously with coronavirus and all that stuff that's happening now, if that tour goes ahead, I think he might play then. Get him as cap and get him in as a regular next season.
I reckon a good nickname for Harry Hawkins will be Inspector Gadget. Got the Inspector Gadget arms.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got those long arms. I don't reckon he misses a line out too often.
No, he's got like slinky arms.
He does Inspector
Yeah.
Gadget, mate. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But
Pretty
there's so many guys, I guess, who
I
are
mean-
up for contention.
We're probably pretty biased because we probably watch Reds games the most.
I
Yeah.
don't.
You wouldn't, but I mean, for the most part, like, how many Rebels games are we watching?
I've watched 2.
Okay, so we're probably not watching that many.
No.
And obviously we're Queensland boys at the moment.
But
So
speaking of the Reds, I do want to mention this week. Probably going to lose, if we're being honest.
Probably.
They are playing away to the three-peat champions, the Crusaders, showing the Roosters how it's done. Of course, Gusman. But then next week, now this is a date to put in your calendars, faithful. On the 14th of March, the Reds play the Bulls at Suncorp Stadium, back at Summers. Just where you want them. Lang Park. But because of coronavirus, the Sunwolves game against the Crusaders has been moved and will now be the curtain raiser, so to speak, in a double header with the Reds.
Tempting,
very tempting. Big day out. Also, get down your grades trials for all your, all your QPR games. All your teams are trialing. Go have a look. Go watch some local footy.
UQ Jeeps at Albany Creek, of all places.
Exactly. Go get amongst your local footy as well as the professional boys. Really support it all.
The next gen.
The next gen. But I think that's all we've got for today, boys. Thank you very much for an awesome show. Together, we previewed the NRL season. How do you reckon it went?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I love talking NRL.
How do I
Great.
reckon the season went?
No, how do
Hasn't
you reckon the
happened
preview went, mate? How do you reckon it'll go?
Yeah. No, I think it'll go good.
Yeah, awesome. So make sure you tune in. Yeah, great.
Love that.
That was just my impersonation of a leaguey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
All credit to the boys.
Yeah, credit to the boys. The boys did really well. Tucked in. Yeah, good. Yeah, good for the boys. Yeah, boys did well. They really tucked in. Did a good shift, boys. that's my leaguey rant.
Rambling of a crazy man there.
That's a rambling of a league player, mate. Asterix. Thank you very much for everyone listening. Make sure you go listen to all of our previous episodes. We had some really awesome ones. We'll have some really awesome guests coming forward, so make sure you stay tuned. Make sure if you like these kind of punditry episodes, make sure you go listen to our extra time episodes. That's primarily what they are. So you can go listen to them. We've done a few. You guys did one on Kalen Ponga, so if you like league, go listen to that one as well. They are exclusive on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so make sure you listen to them there. We love your support. Make sure you swing us some messages. Give us all the love you can. We really love it. But go follow us on Instagram at @beyond_the sidelines_. If you haven't already, which why haven't you? If you haven't, go on. As Finn says, what do you like to say?
What was that, mate?
Live dangerously.
Live dangerously.
Great. Good to see you listening. Both of the boys are on their phones. Let's get out of the studio.